Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thank you so much for joining me for Try It Out Tuesday. Now today we are going to be playing with a die set. It's a two-piece die set from Simon. This is called the Flower Swag. It's been in the shop for quite a while, or a couple of years. Not too long. But I finally got my hands on it. Love this die, especially for springtime. Love flowers in the spring, and I thought we'd make a couple just because cards. I think this would look fabulous with soft colors, but we're going to bring in some paper pads today. You can see what this does. This piece has an outline of flowers, and you can actually add it to the border, and that's what that one this piece here does. It creates a flowered edge for your panels, and I thought we would make a valley card today. Valley card is when you take your card front and you separate it to create a valley and then pop it up. So that's what we're going to do with this pattern paper. This is actually like a ledger, kind of a vintagey color ledger paper. This is from a 6x6 paper pad from a Mind's Eye called Stella and Rose. Now this is a well-loved and a very old paper pad, but I still love my pattern papers, and I think I'm going to put them to good use this year. Okay, I'm taking this die. We're going to create a little die cut piece. You can see when you die cut this out, it doesn't go the width of your card base, this is a card front panel, so it's 4 1/4 inches wide. So it leaves you little edges, but that's okay because you can trim them off any way you want. Now I'm going to flip it around and go down about a 1/2 inch, retape that border, and then die cut it out once more. And that's going to give me my valley. I'm going to trim them and separate them in just a minute. Okay, with the flower outline piece, I'm going to take some double-sided adhesive sheets. I'm just going to take my Altenew adhesive sheets, trim them down to a smaller panel, manageable panel, and then we're going to adhere this to some white cardstock. I want to die cut my outline flower piece with white, and then we'll do inlaying with pattern paper. I love doing this, and I think the outcome is just gorgeous. And we'll add this. I have a little overhanging, and I'm going to trim it off. You could leave it on there. I trim it off because this way I know my whole back is covered, and I don't have to worry about some of it having adhesive, some of it don't. So if you trim it off, it all has adhesive. Now, since I did trim it, now I can't put it vertically, so we're going to go horizontal. I can't go horizontal. I want to go vertically on my panel. So I die cut it out. Now, the cardstock that I'm using is a very heavy weight. It's a cover weight, and so when you add your adhesive sheets, it didn't die cut all the way through, but it did die cut. And I'm going to trim it out because I don't want to run that through my die cut machine again when I die cut out another piece, which I did just now. We're going to trim this out. And then we have a little piece left over with adhesive on the back. I'm going to use that to die cut out my sentiment. For my card today, I just want to make a hello card. So I have a hello sentiment. This is from Paper Rose Studios. Actually, it's just Paper Rose. I don't think it has a studio at the end. Kind of made that up. But I'm going to die cut out my hello 3 times. And then I have one little extra piece left over, and I'm going to die cut out a couple more hellos for my next project. I'm just layering all of them together, and so now we have a nice raised up sentiment. Kind of gives it a little bit of dimension, and this is 3 stacked, and I have 2 stacked for my next project. Okay, I'm just going to use my scissors and trim the left and right. Now I do end up later on the straight line that I'm cutting on the left and right here, you're going to want to trim that off. So you're going to trim about a 1/4 inch off the left and a 1/4 inch off the right. I wanted to create a background with pattern paper, and I wanted it to show. Since this is a card front panel, you're going to end up wanting to trim that off on the left and right. Okay, so these are my pieces. The smaller one goes on top. Now all you have to do is remove your outline floral here, your flower swag, and I was hoping that all the negative pieces would stick to the release paper, but no, it didn't happen that way. So I took my tool in one and I just punched out all those pieces, but I punched them out and put them on the release paper that from the double-sided adhesive sheets. I did that because I thought maybe later on if I wanted to do some inlaying, I can keep those pieces. They're already adhesive backed, and I can just color them in with Copic markers. Easy peasy. But I added my white flower swag to my pattern paper here, and I'm going to do the exact same thing to my top piece. And I love the look as of this just as it is. I think it'd make a great engagement card or a real pretty soft sympathy or thank you card. It's just, I love the colors, the white with that kind of antique-y background paper. But for today, we're going to doctor it up a little more. I'm taking this orange pattern paper for my paper pad, and we're going to die cut this out. Actually, we're going to do it twice because I want some flowers for the top and the bottom. So I ran it through my die cut machine. Excuse my very bad cutting plates. They need to be replaced. Just haven't got to that yet. But I'm going to add glue to the inside of each one of my flowers, and then just using my jewel picker here, I'm going to add the pattern paper into, there's 3 flowers on each one, so that's what I'm going to do, add the petals to all 3 flowers on the bottom, and then I'll die cut it out once more and then do the same thing up here to the top. I'm going to leave the flower centers blank because I want a darker paper for that. Okay, I think that looks great. I'm going to keep this piece too. What you could do with your negative or your positive piece here is take those white sticker pieces that I put on that release paper and add it to those if you wanted to. There's lots of options with the extras. Now for my leaves, I'm going to take this real pretty pale blue pattern paper. Sometimes it's nice to go outside of green and go different colors with your leaves. So this is a real, like a soft blue. I just went ahead and die cut this out and inlaid those. I'll do the same with the bottom piece. Die cut out one more with that pale blue pattern paper. Now you're going to have lots of, again, this is another one of your swags that you could use for a card. Keep those, stick them in the packaging for future easy cards that are good to go. Now this darker orange pattern paper, we're going to die cut out and just use the center of each one of those flowers. So we're going to die cut 2 of those out and just use the center of those flowers. If you wanted to skip the detail on that and just use your Nuvo drops for the center of the flowers, you could. Now, I went ahead and went through my paper pad and found this dark brown pattern paper. It kind of has some distressed polka dots on here. I put this on my entire card front, and then I did add some scripty printed paper behind my valley. And you can see I trimmed it down so it's about a 1/2 inch smaller than my, or not a 1/2 inch, goodness, but about a 1/4 inch smaller than my card base. So there's some print behind my valley window there. And then I was mentioning that dark brown cardstock for my background. That is the same pattern paper that I used for my berries in my swag. For finishing touches, I went over each one of my berries with my Journey Glaze. Journey Glaze is like a glossy accents. It's going to dry, clear, and give me a little bit of dimension. And then that finishes my first project. Second project is pretty easy, guys. I'm just taking this outline die and I'm bringing it down about 2 inches. And then I'm going to die cut it out with the white cardstock and then also 2 of my floral swags. I'm going to die cut out 2 of those and then 1 more hello with white cardstock and then 1 with the brown. I already have 2 of the hellos that we die cut earlier and I just stacked them together. But I did a little bit of inlaying with the same pattern papers. The dark brown I used for the leaves this time. The flowers I kept the same with that pale orange. And then for the flower centers, for this card, I used the dark brown cardstock also. The berries in here, I used the pale teal. So same colors, I just switched it up a bit. Now for this card, I'm doubling up on my flower swag. So it has a little bit of dimension to it. And I love the way this looks, guys. But I'm going to go 1 step further and we're actually going to create a stained glass effect with it. There's my sentiment. I did add a little adhesive behind my hello, the brown hello at least, and layered it together. I'm going to go ahead and add my sentiment on the left side here. Just making sure it's straight. And then I went through my paper pack and found some stripe paper. Now, I wasn't sure if I had enough to cover my card base or not, but I think I barely made it. You can see the top left corner is missing some paper, but I wanted definitely some stripes, and so I think we're going to kind of work with it. I'm going to trim off the excess. I just adhered this to my card base. And I have a little overhanging, and these scissors work great for trimming off the excess here. Okay, I try to keep them sharp. In fact, that's that little ribbon on my scissor handle. It tells me that these are the sharp ones. I have a few sets, and so the other one I think I abused, and so it's not as sharp as this one. Okay, next I'm going to pop up my flower swag piece. This is going to go on the very top. I think if we were to put it on the very top or flip it around and put it on the very bottom, either way it'd look very pretty. I went for the top piece, so we have some dimension here. Now I'm going to take the Journey Glaze, and since our flower swag is lifted up, it's raised, I'm going to fill it in with my Journey Glaze. If you have glossy accents, you can do the same thing. Journey Glaze is just a little bit thinner than glossy accents, but I love to do this. It looks like you're going to overfill them, but you kind of really can't, because when this dries, it kind of dries concave, so it kind of forms around your die cut piece, and I think it looks fabulous when it dries. It looks almost like stained glass. But I added it looks pretty cloudy now, but trust me, it will dry clear. But that is my second project today, guys, for my Try It Out Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like using pattern. Let me know if you guys like me using pattern papers or not. Sometimes I'm just not sure. But I wish you a fabulous Tuesday. We'll see you next week for another video. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.